Hello, and welcome back to Calm AF. This is episode 331. I'm Kristen Finch, and today I'm going to tell you something that might sound completely backwards. You might think I have lost it because it's going to sound so wrong, but it's this. Your nervous system, in its current state, does not actually want to be calm. I know you think you want to be calm. Your nervous system thinks calm is dangerous and that it could literally kill you. I know how it sounds, but stick with me. I have a story. I'm going to tell you about my client. We're going to call her Hannah, and I'm going to show you why this is true. You're going to see it in Hannah's story because her story is probably your story too. Before we dive in, Calm AF year enrollment opens August 11th, which is this coming Monday, through the 15th. This is a year-long experiment where you are going to see what happens when you stop trying really hard to change your life and you let your life change. It's a completely different way of aligning with the life that you want to live. Make sure you are on the interest list. The link for that is in the show notes. All right, let's dive in and talk about Hannah. When Hannah came to me, probably like 7-ish years ago, the way I would describe her energy in our first conversation was drowning, like underwater drowning. She was drowning in exhaustion and overwhelm and chaos and research. She had recently figured out through some Googling that her husband was likely on the autism spectrum. And how she got there was a very classic neurodiverse marriage story, right? Things seemed great while we were dating. I didn't notice really any of these things. Then we got married and all of a sudden everything seemed different. Not like Jekyll and Hyde different, just this very unique, kind of quirky different. This is everybody's story. So what did this very smart, hypervigilant, high-achieving woman do with that new insight? She researched the shit out of it. She found all the books on neurodiverse relationships. She talked to different therapists. She found Facebook groups and was gathering and taking in all of these stories about neurodiverse marriages, most of them horror stories. As if you know, you know. Every article was another reason her marriage was doomed, and every story that she read was proof that not only was this marriage going to be hard, but it's going to be hard forever. So as you can imagine, by the time she found me, she was at the end of her rope. She was just exhausted, thinking about where she was now and thinking about what the rest of her life was going to feel like. So we had our conversation. She wanted to work together, and I said, listen, here's the deal. If we're going to do this, if we are going to work together, I need you to stop. I need you to stop researching, stop Googling, stop reading books and listening to podcasts, stop joining support groups. I want you just to give me 1 year of no new information coming in. Just show up to the calls and I will be here with you. And I remember her there's like a long pause and I could probably hear her brain kind of short-circuiting. But she also knew that I was the only person that she had found in all of her research who had the outcome that she wanted. So she was like, okay, I'm in. And just like if you listen to the last episode with Susan, it was kind of the same moment, that same decision of, I'm not going into this hoping this would work. I am going in deciding this is going to work. So we started talking. We started coaching. And I knew right away that I needed to shift. We were going to be doing some neural pathway rewiring. We were going to be doing some identity rewiring. So the first thing that needed to happen was I needed to start showing her something else to look at. So instead of starting every call open-ended, like, tell me how your week went, AKA, tell me everything that you noticed that was wrong, I started with, tell me what went well this week. And at first, it was really hard for her to come up with things that went well. So it would be like, well, I guess he didn't have a meltdown on Tuesday. And I'd be like, amazing. What else? What else went well? And it might be something like, well, he did have a meltdown, but it didn't freak me out as much as it usually does. Oh my gosh, that is the best win ever. What else is going well? And what she started doing was looking for the things that were going well, which was a shift from what she was doing. And because of that, over time, she started noticing more things that were working, that were going well. She started noticing how he made her laugh so hard and how he would handle some of like the, adulting things that she hated doing without complaint. He was just happy to do it. She started noticing how he would buy the good coffee because he knew how much she loved it. It was small stuff, but we celebrated it like it was major because it was major. The small stuff is what compounds. That's what creates the shift. So about 6 months into our time together, her marriage was starting to feel way easier. And it wasn't because he changed. And it wasn't because I gave her, a manual with a 5-step plan and homework to do every night. It was because she stopped spending all her time looking for reasons it was hard. That's why it started feeling easier. And when things were hard, because let's be honest, relationships are not going to be without their hard moments. But when things were hard, she wasn't already exhausted from thinking about how hard they were, right? So she had a little bit more gas in the tank. She stopped energy managing him. She stopped researching every time he did something and she was like, oh, is that autism? Is that autism? She stopped that. She stopped trying to find things to prove that this person needed to change. That's how her marriage started to feel easier. Not perfect, but way easier. And I never talked to him, but I can assume that her husband definitely felt the difference, which is also what contributed to the marriage feeling easier. Energy doesn't lie. It does not lie. If you are energy managing someone, they know it. So there we are. We are moving our sessions aren't solely based on her marriage or her husband. We are starting to move into other areas of life. We're starting to have some fun thinking about some other goals, future self stuff. When Hannah shows up to a call, she's all excited. She's like, Kristen, guess what? I am thinking of starting a jewelry business. So we're going to pause, just like I paused in that moment. I need you to know this. This woman has a very successful career. She makes great money. She gets recruited. People want to steal her from her company all the time. And she also loves her work, right? She is happy in her career. Never once in the 6 months-ish that we had been working together, never once had I heard her mention jewelry. Ever. Here's what had happened. Hannah had always said that her life would be perfect. She was like, there is so much of my life that is already amazing. My health and my family and my work. And if only my marriage was better, then I really feel like that's it. Like that's where I need to be so that I can finally be happy. And then she got there, where her marriage was better and her life was feeling calmer. And she did not know what to do with it. She felt lost because her nervous system had spent a lifetime, basically, learning that chaos equals survival. Being in crisis or in crisis mode, that was her comfort zone. All of us who are like, oh, yeah, I thrive in crisis. Yep. So with Hannah, there was no more marriage crisis to manage. She wasn't obsessively thinking about what was wrong with her husband. Her whole system panicked. When it felt that calm feeling, they're like, nope. Calm is wrong. Calm is dangerous. We need chaos. So as she's just sitting there, living her beautiful life, minding her own business, making these beautiful bracelets that she was just having a blast doing, her system was like, I know how to add some chaos. Let's take this thing that you really enjoy doing and let's start a business from scratch. It wasn't because she wanted to sell jewelry. It was because her nervous system needed to fill this peaceful space with something chaotic to manage. This is the predictable part of transformation that everyone misses. You say all you want is to calm the fuck down. You want to stop having to put out fire after fire. You want to stop being in crisis mode all the time. You say you just want peace. But when you actually get it, when you get calm, like not just a calm fleeting moment, but like regulated nervous system calm, all is well in the world, your brain and your nervous system think you're going to die. So you literally can't sit still when things are going well without finding some sort of crisis. So you get the promotion at work and you immediately start worrying about getting fired. Your relationship is finally in a good place, so you pick a fight. You finally finish that project at work and things have actually slowed down and you have a minute to yourself and you're like, I know, let's get back on the dating apps. Because your nervous system hasn't learned how to be calm. All it knows is that hypervigilance, overthinking equals safety. Anxiety means you're just being smart. And if you're not always moving or solving problems or putting out fires, you must be lazy. So even when you've created the life you want and you have the calm that you've said you wanted from the beginning, your system, because it doesn't know how to handle calm, immediately starts looking for new chaos, new shit to stress about, new people to energy manage. Why we go on the dating apps. You're addicted to the drama because without it, you don't know who you are. And this is why I told Hannah to give me a year. This is why I said, I need you to give me a year. Not because it was going to take a year for her to learn all the tools or for me to teach her all of the new information she needed to learn. She needed time to let her nervous system learn how to be calm. Because at that moment, it thinks that calm will actually destroy everything that you've worked so hard for. So when Hannah brought me her bracelet business idea, I was like, what the fuck, Hannah? No business, no bracelet making business. And I said it with all the love in my heart. And I explained why. You just need to be uncomfortable in calm until it starts to feel more comfortable. So that's what we did. And by the end of that first year, Hannah was different because she learned to trust that calm was safe and that she could stay there longer than an hour. And a very important part was that she could still be driven and ambitious and high achieving from peace instead of panic. And here's proof of this. It has been 7 years that we've been working together. And in those 7 years, here are just some of the things that she has created. She welcomed a baby. She moved to her dream home in her dream neighborhood. She created a really thriving social life with old friends, new friends, all of it. She has hobbies that she does regularly just for the joy of it. And she recently left her job that she was so good at, but it was because she got her dream job, her lifelong dream job. And here's the funnest part, full circle moment. She is starting a new side business. She's not starting it because she's creating more chaos. She's doing it because she's always wanted to, because it sounds like fun. All of this happened because Hannah had someone to catch her. Anytime her nervous system tried to sabotage her peace, anytime she tried to fill the calm space with some chaos, she had someone right there being like, no jewelry business. She needed someone to remind her when she started freaking out like the old days because her husband got upset. So what? Move on. That's not who you are anymore. That's what we need. We need someone to say, hey, you're doing it again when you start creating new chaos in your newly calm space. This is exactly what we're doing in Calm AF Year. For 52 weeks, we are retraining your nervous system so that it learns to trust calm. 52 weeks of creating an identity where success does not require hustling, overthinking, anxiety, perfectionism. 52 weeks of being surrounded by people who aren't addicted to chaos, who are learning the same thing. Calm AF Year is not more tools or more homework. It's where you will learn to be the person who doesn't need drama to feel alive, who doesn't need the excitement of a crisis to feel comfortable, so that you can just have a good day without waiting for the other shoe to drop, who can enjoy your success without immediately sabotaging it. You stop picking fights when your relationship is going well. Stop creating problems when life feels like it's too easy. Here's what I know. A year from now, you will either be the person who knows how to feel safe in the calm that you so want to feel. You will either be the person who can enjoy your life without immediately finding something wrong with it, or you will be where you are now, but probably with a little more research, maybe some more tools. But the same patterns, sabotaging good things, looking for danger when there's nothing wrong. Calm AF Year opens August 11th. It closes August 15th. We start September 1st. You have 4 days to make the decision, just like Hannah did, just like Susan did, to decide, this is what I'm doing and this is going to work. You come with that thought and you show up for a year, it's guaranteed. You will change your life. All right. Link for the interest list is in the show notes. I will see you in Calm AF Year. Thanks for listening. I will see you next time.